Hi guys, it's your boy the Melanin King, and this is Life Unfiltered Podcast. If it is your first time to be here, all I'm telling you is karibu sana. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know where to sit. You know how we do it here. So karibuni sana. And as you can see, I'm alone today. Yeah, quite sad. You think I'm divorced? No, I'm kidding. I'm not divorced. Well, Brandy sent her apologies that she will not be present today because Amanda Mazishi, unfortunately, she lost her friend, and it's really sad. We're sending love and condolences to the family and her also, who was also the friend to the person who just died. So we're sending love and hugs, lots of love and hugs to you, Brandy, wherever you are. Just know she's actually in Kisii because she traveled to Kisii. Sending love and lots of hugs to you, Brandy. So in the next episode, she will certainly be there. Sawa. Okay, having said that, a couple of things that have been trending. You know, we always talk about trending topics, conversations. We have to also talk about people because on this podcast, remember the first episode we did with the guys, we said we listen and we judge. And on to the first thing that has been trending this week, we have Young, Rich, and Famous and African. The series. Have you given yourself time to watch it? Because I personally did. And if you have not, then you should certainly give it a thought or time to go.
So all of you guys are gonna sit here and make excuses. Wait, I'm not done. I'm not done. You guys are gonna make excuses for bad behavior and talk about she went through this, she went through this, she went through this. Babes, I'm going through the most. But I don't walk in destruction. I don't hurt people. But one thing I don't appreciate is being ambushed to be here. You did it on real life.
I've heard that you've said.
About you!
Do you understand?
You
Nadia,
fucking
now,
psychopath!
I don't want to talk about you. You're going to make me talk
I'm
now.
not, Annie, you're not in my mind to talk about you. And that the information is brought, Annie, you're not in my mind to talk about you.
I said, why are you being fake?
There's no way I think about you if I don't have to. Accountability is not a word in your vocabulary. So shut the fuck up, please. You don't know what it is to be a real ass bitch. To call me a fake bitch is actually insane. I have no respect for you. I have no respect for your husband. I have no respect for you. Have nothing to say, my nigga. You have nothing to say, my nigga. Because you're a fucking sociopath.
Okay, guys.
Don't you ever talk about me and my character. You know nothing about me. Do you understand?
For me, the highlight of that series was the drama. Of course, I watch reality shows because of drama, and that's what usually catches my attention when it comes to reality drama. And of course, one of my favorite casts all over the world is Zari, the boss lady, who is also part of this show. And again, Diamond was also in it. And if you've been watching this episode from season 1 all the way mpaka Saituko season 3, you definitely know that Diamond has been struggling to express himself. But people keep on saying that, you know what? His English has improved, which I totally agree. And again,
chilled and relaxed, which is nice.
I'm chilled and relaxed. I'm a cool person. She's interesting. I was like, oh yeah.
How old are you?
How
old are you? Why do you have to think about it?
No, I'm not thinking about it. I'm talking about it. On 31st.
31st.
And again, I think the dude should be allowed to express himself however he can, because English is not even our first language. I mean, when you look at other white people, the way anytime they're competing either in Olympics or football or whatever, usually they're allowed to speak their language. But why is it when it comes to Africa, we're forced to speak English? But also I would understand, because, you know, Netflix is a worldwide thing. And therefore, we would recommend someone to speak in English so that people can be able to understand. So if you speak Swahili, then that means you're restricting to a certain group or a certain number of people. And in this case, you'll be limiting it to a target audience of Africa peke yake. So I would understand why people would go hard on him with his English. But let me tell you something. Anytime he opened his mouth to speak, that really cracked me up. You know, the first episode of season 1, he said he's 31st years old. And this other time in season 3, the shades that were being thrown at him and him not even being able to understand, like comprehend what these people were saying about him was even much more crazy. So there are some new casts that were brought on board. We had Ini Edo, we had Ini Edo and another one called Kafilwe. Kafilo is also South Africa. Ini is from Nigeria. And I think they brought a bit of spice into the episode, which was really nice. But I also feel like Kafilwe really struggled to bring about drama between her and Zari. She was really forcing drama between her and Zari. And it's giving, I'm trying to really force myself to be here. But anyway, a lot of people also in Kenya, because this show will majorly be watched by Kenyans and South Africans. We all know Tanzanians are too lazy. And okay, I didn't mean to like call you out, guys, but we all know Tanzanians are waelewangi hata kizungu. They struggle a lot to understand English. So sidhani they will watch even that episode. So Kenya will be among the countries that will be watching this season 3 of Young, Famous and African a lot. And therefore, we highly request Netflix to consider one of our own. And I remember I went online and asked people what they think about the show. And people really actually enjoyed the show. And they were suggesting some names of Kenyans who would actually like them to be on the show. But here's the thing. I was telling people online that these people you see acting these reality shows, a good number of them are rich. They're like very, very wealthy. They have money. They can afford certain luxuries that our celebrities cannot be able to afford. Or rather, our celebrities are known to live a fake life. They live a fake life for the camera. When you look at somebody like Zari, that's her life. I mean, she's a boss lady. The wife to the late, I'm forgetting his name, but this guy was very rich. So Rosario was actually married to a very rich man and then dated Diamond. Diamond is also very rich. So basically, these are things she's used to. This is like a life that she's actually used to living. So most of our celebrities here in Kenya live a fake life. But Kenyans in akina nani, they said they want and they are demanding that we have a Kenyan represented on this show. And they went ahead to actually give us or suggest names of people they think should be on the show. And one of the people on that list that I really had an issue with is Rispa Faith.
1 minute, we are looking ordinary. Next minute, extraordinary. We are that girl, the it girl, those girls.
Oh, have you watched content here, Rispa Faith? Maybe our director should play a video of Rispa Faith. Yeah, Mwone who this Rispa Faith is. Maybe from there, you'll be able to understand why I'm against someone like Rispa Faith being on this show.
Hey guys, Gumutu, Gume report live yangu.
Follow my new page, follow my new page, follow my new page.
She's just an influencer married to a rich man and they actually live in Kitusuru. That's okay, that's nice. But she lacks the glam, she lacks the class, she lacks the, she serves this ghetto vibe that I don't think it's needed on the show. The show is all about being classy. It's all about being a bitch, a bad bitch, like a certain trait of character. And again, that comes along with a certain aura of, I ooze money, I am money and all that stuff. So for her, she does videos. If you've watched her TikTok accounts, zingine hadi anaendaga kushoot kwa salons huko Zima, man. Honestly speaking, no, this is not someone you want on the show. And then the way she even talks, she keeps talking about Ruma tacos, what. That's certainly not somebody you want on the show. No, hell no. So I say Rispa, no. Ataenda kutupeleka Isili tukaende kununua curtains. And come with me, guys. Nimeenda Isili, ni buy curtains, nini, nyota imenga, nyota. No, this is not someone you want on the show. The second person who was suggested was Vera Sidika. Vera, I love Vera. I honestly love Vera. I really love Vera Sidika. And also we have actually had a conversation. But we are not best of friends. But yeah, she knows about me. Yeah, now you know. But would I really recommend her for the show? I feel like she's very soft-spoken. Yes, she loves drama and all that stuff. But she's also very soft-spoken to the point where Sidania is more aggressive. Vera is not as aggressive as people think. Vera is this little girl. I wanted to say little girl. This little girl who is very pretty, big nyash and all that stuff. So I don't think I would really recommend her for the show because I don't feel, if you've watched The Real Housewives of Nairobi, you would understand what I'm saying. She's very soft. Like she's very, very soft. Can she really go hard on someone like Kanye, if Kanye was back on set, because Kanye was actually on set, but ile kidogo alikuwa na pia kienda. Can she really go hard on someone like Kanye? Can she really go hard on someone like Ini? You know, I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh no, they might step on her. And that's not what we want as a country. We don't want our person to go out there and be stepped on, you know? Because you're supposed to either be on the extreme or this other extreme. Like you're extremely bad or you're extremely, you know how Annie is playing victim all the time. Yeah, you're supposed to either play victim all the time or be the drama or cause the drama. Yeah, among other people was Ambare, and I was like, Ambare also, no. All she does is club appearances. No, we are not about to do that. No, watu waenda wakafanya club appearance wakapata 50k huko alafu wakuja hapa hivi kwa reality show. That one certainly, I'm saying again, no. So many names were mentioned. I personally mentioned Achieng Agutu. And the reason why I mentioned Achieng Agutu is because I feel like she has that aura for wealth. She has that aura for that kind of a show. Because, you know, hapa watu wana compete. They're always competing about who has what, who has more money, who has more influence. You know, it's always about who has more money, who can speak because of what they own, because of what they have. So when I look at that, she actually has that. Looking at the companies she has also worked with, she's worked with very big international companies out there, and that's why I was actually recommending her. But there was somebody else people were not thinking about, and I'm so sure most of you didn't know her. And her name is Chanel Ayan. Chanel Ayan is Kenyan Somali. She's actually Kenyan Somali. I don't know if director, unajua mtu anaitwa Chanel Ayan, I'm sure you don't know her. She's actually married to a billionaire in Dubai. Yeah, she's married to a billionaire in Dubai, and wow. She has a lot of money. She has been featured in The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She has also acted in The Real Housewives of Dubai, and so on and so forth. And I think that she fits because she has that exposure. She has the experience of being on a reality TV, and she's also a supermodel, worked with big brands, and she can definitely fit in that. I think if they chose Achieng Agutu or Chanel, they would actually suit. But yesterday I saw a video of Zari the Boss Lady being asked by Pulse Live Kenya. They were actually asking her who would she recommend from Kenya to be part of the cast of Young, Famous and African. And she said she would actually recommend Vera Sidika. I would understand why she would say that, because again, they have been friends. You know, she has been friends with two celebrities in Kenya. She has been friends with Vera Sidika and she has been friends with Akode. And for some reason, they fell out with Akode. And yeah, I think that's why she never mentioned the name Akode, but she instead mentioned Vera Sidika. So one thing you also need to understand is the people already who are a cast in Young, Famous and African have the power to recommend who they want on the show. So I saw Swanky Jerry hang out with Chanel Ayan in Dubai. So there's a high likelihood that in the next season we are going to have a Kenyan on the show, either Chanel Ayan or Achieng Agutu, because I saw Swanky Jerry hang out with Ayan. And I actually, now that Zari the Boss Lady recommended Vera, so there's a likelihood that Zari might invite Vera into the show as a guest, and then eventually she becomes a cast or Chanel Ayan part of it. And funny thing is, all these three people we are mentioning, they're all friends. Ayan is friends with Achieng Agutu, and they're also friends with Zari, and they're friends with Vera Sidika. So I can't wait to see who will be brought on board on the show. So that's about what has been trending this week on Young, Famous and African. So if you have not watched that show, you should make a point, go and watch. Pale hivi lines zilikuwa zinaangushwa moto. Like I remember one of the quotes from Zari was, she was having an altercation with Annie, and then this new cast who was brought in is like, Zari, a moment of silence. Today is Kali's day. She's like, a moment of silence. Who died? Like, who died? And so much more. So it was so exciting. You should make a point to view that. Anyway, moving on swiftly from that, at least now you know what has been trending with regards to a new series out there. So you need to check that out. Now something else happened, and I don't even know how I feel about this topic because the person I'm about to talk about, one of their persons is my friend, like a very personal friend, and I'm talking about a content creator. And something befell her. And this is what I'm going to say before I even speak about that. I feel like once in a while, as a man or as anybody out there, as a human being, you need to hit rock bottom before you can like live life, like experience the good part of life. Once in a while, people need to hit rock bottom to have a better understanding of life. Yeah, I just said that. Once in a while, people need to hit rock bottom for them to understand life. Because the minute good things just happen continuously in your life, you never understand that it gets to a point where things can fail to work out for you. And once that happens, when you actually now hit rock bottom, you feel like you are all alone in this universe, and that everything is so unfair to you, and you want to cry out loud and fall into depression. And another thing is, the world is very, I don't want to call it unfair, it's very ruthless to people. The world is very ruthless to people, because and it's not the world, it's actually the people who live in the world who are very ruthless to people. Somebody once said that human beings these people can lift you up, akupeleke mpaka huko juu. You see the way the devil did to Jesus Christ when alimpeleka huko juu akamwambia nataka nikuachilie, si malaika watakushikilia. That's what not Africans, but human beings will do. They will lift you up all the way up there, and then leave you to fall down like on a free fall. So one of the creators this week has been trending, and that is Aziad Nasenya. Allow me to mention her name. And it's because of friends who people are allegedly calling them fake friends that lent her 400,000 Kenyan shillings. So I'm going to ask you, do you have friends? Do you have friends who can lend you 400,000 Kenya shillings? If you need the money instantly, do you think you can get friends who can lend you 400,000 Kenya shillings? Because from the voice notes that were going around from Instagram page and Jambi Fever, because there's a lady called Jambi Fever who is usually out there giving people tea and gossip, the one who actually leaked out this information, and then later on it was on BNN, and they were saying that this lady has apparently or allegedly been living a fake life. And it got me thinking and asking myself a lot of things. The topic of discussion today is actually life lessons and struggles. That's the topic of the day. Life lessons and struggles. So looking at the way things were happening to this person, it could be them today, and then tomorrow it's me. Remember, once you're out there, like your face is out there, anything is possible for you. And this life is all about turn-taking. Today it's Karanja, tomorrow is Glant, the other day is Billy, and so on and so forth. So now, voice notes are going around that she was asking for money from people. And honestly speaking, I listened to that. And now that I know the boyfriend and I'm friends with the boyfriend, I really felt sad for her. Because, blogs can really make you feel bad. Like, they can take you to a coma, like, very immediately. Because here what is happening is, she asked people for money, and probably the reason why she asked them for money, she was in a fix or she needed to do something. And one thing, if you're in influencing gigs or if you are actually influencing anything, you understand that sometimes some of these companies that you work for can fail to pay you on time. And when I talk about on time, I'm not talking about 3 days, 4 days. They can even go a whole year before they can send you a dime. So this lady apparently asked people for money that is amounting to around 400K. And from rumors, they're saying that the money could be more than 400,000. 400,000 was just money that belonged to, I think that was money that she had asking for. But there are other people who also she asked money from that have not yet come out, but people know about them. And that got me asking myself, because, before this came out, she actually had done a video talking about how she has been depressed. And I'm hoping our director will play that video. She was saying that, you know what? I've been depressed. I've been in the hospital. I've not even been leaving this room. I've been putting my phone aside. There's so many mistakes I've done, financial mistakes, work mistakes, nini mistakes, and all that stuff. And let me tell you, Kenyans are Kenyans. So after this receipts came out that she has not been, using her money well, or rather, she has been living a fake life and borrowing people money to keep up with the life, things really went south for her. And one thing I'm just going to say is, as a creator, I would understand why she would borrow money. I would totally understand. When I was still starting, I used to tell myself, I can never give myself pressure. Because I'm famous, if I ever get, I used to say this, if I ever get famous, me, I'll just live my life normally. You know, I won't even care. I will just be like, you know, nothing about me will change. It's just that I'll be famous and have money. But let me tell you, you change. You change, and you don't change because you want to change. You change because of the surrounding, because of a lot of factors that people never understand or never consider. So the reason why I'm saying I would understand her is because, number one, she's a big name now. Anywhere she will walk, people are like, this is Aziad. So this is a big name. So if you saw her walking around in slippers, boarding matatus, you know, it would not sit well with the fact that now she's actually a big brand. So for you to maintain that big brand, you have to basically keep certain standards. Let me tell you, you have to keep certain standards. Alafu mtu atasema, why do you keep proving the point? Why do you need? No, you know, respect and your net worth and how much you charge for these brand gigs and all that stuff usually comes from how you package yourself. So imagine if she lived somewhere in Kawangware, how on earth would you expect her to charge you for a million bob for an advert when she lives in Kawangware? Do you think you'd actually pay a million bob to live while you actually know very well she lives in Kawangware? I don't think you'd actually do that. So definitely it comes a lot with how you package yourself. So this kind of jobs or this kind of a life, if you decide to put yourself in it, definitely you have to fix yourself into a certain lifestyle. You have to live a certain lifestyle and keep a certain standard. So the people are like, oh, unapanda ndege, unaenda business class, na uko na deni za watu and all that stuff. Like I've said, definitely I would understand her. Imagine her traveling from here all the way to the US to meet Ariana Grande, and now she's sitting on an economy class, economy seat in a plane. Definitely it will not sit right. And like I've told you, these things, lazima ujipa, it's all in the packaging, how you package yourself. You know, when you open your Instagram account or your TikTok account and you bump into her page, certainly you know that this kind of a person, there is no way. Yeah. But yeah, probably they even paid for the ride. So, you know, let's not be funny. And again, kukopa is part of life. I understand that people who don't kopa, which is okay, because they have now when you our copy, I want to believe our copy sababu wanajua wana pesa ya kulipa. They don't have any money to pay back. But at the same time, kukopa doesn't necessarily translate to fake life. I personally copper sometimes. I copper money. I ask people for money to lend me money. And it does not mean I live a fake life. It means at that point, at that particular moment, I needed help. And I couldn't help myself. So I reached out to you to help me. So if I reach out to you at my lowest moment for you to help me and you fail to help me, or you help me, and after some time, I fail to honor the agreement that we made, you know what? I'm going to pay you back this money come next week on Monday. And then Monday comes and I don't pay back the money. But I communicate with you and tell you that, you know what? I promised you to pay you on this day. But unfortunately, I cannot be able to do that because the monies I was expecting, sijapata. You know? And I'm going to base this off life experience. You know, when we were starting the year, I was expecting my contract to be renewed. I knew that it was going to be automatically renewed. So nikakaa nikijua tutarudi job January kwani iko nini. So tell me why the January starts 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Nothing. They're not communicating, they're not renewing the contract. Now imagine somebody had promised that, you know what, nikirudi job nakupea do. Because I was so sure I'm going to back to work. And now the contract has not been renewed. So what do? I have to push them mbele tena. Unaona? And though I have let you down, I have done you bad by doing that, but at least give me that grace period to also readjust on my end, because hata mimi mwenyewe najiuliza, that's how am I going to survive now that I've not even paid this person. Mimi mwenyewe vitu, I've hit rock bottom. How am I even going to survive myself? So ikifikia hapo, even that's why I've said I think once in a while some people have to hit rock bottom, or they need to hit rock bottom so that they be able to understand the dynamics of life. That life is not all about all that. Another thing that you should put up in mind is people are people, and they will talk. They will say whatever they can say. But again, we should not also act oblivious and start calling out people fake for asking what they actually lent us. Because in the real sense, maybe somebody even sacrificed to lend us the money they did. You know, sometimes if we this is another lesson I'm actually picking for this life, that most of the time we love to view things from our point, from our end, and never from the other side. And that's an issue. Trust me. That's an issue, because the minute you always view it from your end, you will never understand where the other person from the other side is coming from. Because what if this 400,000 shillings that this person lent you, they also had a plan with it come maybe that time you told them you'd return or refund them the money back. They had something, they had a plan, and now you're failed. So definitely it is okay and it is allowed for them to feel the way they feel. It is okay for them to express themselves the way, or rather how they choose to express themselves. And that should teach us something, that sometimes we don't need to go an extra mile to live a certain way, that sometimes you don't need, when something is not a necessity, don't do it. If you invite me today for an event, because I also saw someone do a video the other day saying that, oh, you know, when you become an influencer and then you're out there going for interviews, people will invite you, and when they invite you for events, you need to dress up and show. You know, if I don't have the money to dress up and come for your event, I will certainly give you an excuse of why I will not be coming, and I will definitely have a genuine excuse of why I'm not coming. And I will not tell you it's because of money, but I will have to fix something up so that I don't show up, you know, so that I don't end and find myself in debt. Because these events, most of them usually are just for show off, trying to show off. And it's money. Showing off is a lot of money. So yeah, so basically, let us learn. I saw so many people saying, let us learn to live within our means. Let us learn to live within our means. So I was saying, I would basically ask myself, is it really necessary? Do I have enough to actually allow me cater for this? Like, I have an event today. I've been invited. And the reason why I would go for this lunch is, one, they don't require much. Because that's another thing I usually ask. What do you guys expect of me? If you guys are expecting me to come and chuck like 10K, I'm not coming to chuck 10K. Itoke wapi? 10K inatoka wapi ya kuja kuchuck? So definitely I will ask what is expected of me. If the requirements of what is expected of me is beyond what I can afford, I'm not coming. Thank you. I'm not coming. So let us learn to live within our means. Ask yourself, is it really necessary? Do I really have to do this? And you realize that some things that you put yourself in it, you didn't even need them. You can comfortably do without them and save yourself the burden, save yourself the pressure that you're putting yourself on. And that is just, life is very simple, but we love to complicate life. But it's very, very simple, but we love to complicate it by adding things that are not even necessary, you know? And in as much as we keep talking about, oh, it builds up your profile, builds up your portfolio and all that stuff. Because now when you look at her, the fact that, because I know this story of her flying business class came because she went all the way to meet Ariana Grande in the US, and she was flying on business class, and then she came back and went to Germany. Because now when she went to Germany again, she flew business class, and this was now the time when she owed people money, and now she went to Germany with it, and people are watching, people are keeping up with her life. Was it really necessary? Did you really have to do that? Or sometimes if you have to do something, then don't do it on people's faces, especially people that you know you owe money. Unajua vizuri uko na deni ya mtu na unaenda kukula shawarma na unaenda kuchukua hadi videos as you eat that shawarma. Are you sick in the head? So sometimes the things we do to rub on people's faces that we already owe come off as an insult to them. It actually comes off as an insult. It comes off from a point of you don't value, or rather you don't see the heaviness or auoni ile magnitude ama ile uzito mtu alikuwa nao ndio akupatie do. Alifikiria sana akakuprioritize akaka vitu zake second option just to choose so that they can share the money with you. Sometimes we totally fail to do that. And yeah, people just need to learn to live within their means. So that's about her, and I'm so sure you have seen the story go around. Right now she's not talking, she has not been posting, and I'm just sending love and hugs her way. And all I can say is we are human beings and we make mistakes, and I'm just sending hugs, lots of hugs to you. And I'm hoping this year that has started, you're going to find a way to learn how to manage your finances, learn how to manage your funds. You know, I had one day Obina tell them on Facebook that don't let your fans control you. They're your fans, but don't let them control you. That's number one. Number two, don't let fame get into you. When you let fame get into you, that's where all the mistakes, all the errors, all the meaning comes into you. It comes and fucks up your mind. Because I'll even give you a real life example for me. You know, when I continue doing the TikToks, even as I do them right now, the people you meet and the kind of comments they make, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming. You know, the other day we were eating mangoes with Robert Moniki kwa mkokoteni tu hapo, and then some two chicks came and approached us. And they're like, yeah, you're Melanin King. You're like, yeah. They're like, oh, so you people are just normal human beings like us. I'm like, yeah, kwani we are aliens. I mean, the fact that I do whatever I do online does not exempt me from doing what any other normal person is doing out there. So you see, if I let that get into my head, I'll start asking myself, oh, so I'm not even supposed to be eating mangoes kwa mkokoteni mahali. I'm supposed to be in the malls. I'm supposed to be at Chandarana buying mangoes. And when I let that get into my head, I'll start going to Chandarana. But am I in that financial position to buy mangoes from Chandarana? That means I'm actually forcing life. I'm forcing myself to be where I'm not yet there. This life is a step by step. It's actually a staircase where you step today here, you step tomorrow there, you step with time you go all the way until you get to the top or you get to the landing. So sometimes we skip all these steps all for us to just arrive at a landing, and life is not like that. And that's why we fumble and fall. But like I said, we're sending hugs all the way to her, and I just hope she'll be able to fix herself up, bring herself together, and find a bearing and basically work things out. And again, we're human beings. We are bound to make errors, make mistakes. But one thing I know is you will rise again. You will rise again. One thing, again, you need to accept is criticism. People must criticize what you have done. People must call you out. Take it positively, because people must call you out. And you must take accountability. Sit down to take accountability of your actions where you went wrong and check what you can actually do about that. Well, the other person who has been on the hook is none other than Khalif Cairo. Yeah, nilisikia anaitwa Joseph Wambua. Sijui kama ulikuwa unajua hiyo. He's also called Joseph Wamboi, not Wambua, but Wamboi. Joseph Wamboi. It's funny how we give ourselves names that don't even match what our brand names are. Because when you think about Khalif Cairo sounds very posh, you know, and then to just be called Joseph, Yani Yusufu, it's wild. But you know, so Khalif Cairo, I knew about him from Twitter, of course, before all these other apps. And he's been that young guy that, honestly, I would say I've looked up to him. He's not my role model, really, but someone I've also looked and admired and be like, you know, this young man has been doing a lot of great stuff, selling cars, built his name, he's a big brand, and so many people have been admiring what he has done. I've also admired how he's been handling his girlfriends, especially the previous one. I think he has had 2 before. Yeah, 2 or 3 girlfriends. The first one who was flying on choppers, what was her name? Yeah, so that one, you all know her. She was all over the blogs, and you know, Cairo made her famous, and yeah, hey, but women though. So I knew Cairo from the selling of the cars, and then the girlfriend, and they were used to treat the girlfriend, and I would admire that. Honestly speaking, I think as a man, there's some level of prestige that comes with, if you know you can comfortably handle someone you love and take care of them, and you know, do certain things for them. So I used to admire a lot that from him, because I would want to do that for someone I love. Like I would give them anything I can. If I provided I have the finances, I would definitely do that. So I used to admire a lot about that about him, and the fact that he was young and already found a bearing for his life. I feel like that was very, very commendable. Now, and then again, we had the protest, the Gen Z protest. He was out there on the street and was been very vocal, calling out the government, calling out the evils in government. I mean, that is beautiful. That is amazing. So for me to see him right now fall, and people actually are calling him out for that, I feel like that's where we are going wrong. Because in sizing the ile time when unafaa kuwa uplift mtu, unamsendia positive vibes, positive energy, like tell him, you know, I know this has happened and you'll rise again. But one thing I've also learned is people know how to clap when you go up, and they also know how to clap when you come down. Because that is what is happening. They clapped while he was going up, and they also clapped while he was going down. But there's so many lessons to pick from Khalif Cairo. One of it is learn to shut up. Learn when to shut up, because Cairo has never learned when to shut up. Because even during all these cases and all these things are happening, bado tu anafungua mdomo, bado tu anafungua Twitter, he's busy tweeting. You know, sometimes when you tweet, or rather when you speak about a situation you're going through, you're giving the devil so much power. I wish we would understand that. Because, you know, you're not only talking about the situation, you're also talking about your next move. And so it is so easy to capture your next move, and for people to capture your next move and make it even impossible for you to succeed in it. Words are very strong and words are very powerful, and you just never know. You know, I did a video the other day and said, we don't know who the enemy is. We don't know who the enemy is, and therefore we should just learn how to shut up. Until you know who the enemy is, nata ukijua, just learn how to shut up. So that's one thing Cairo does not or has not yet learned in his life. That, you know what? I don't need to talk or speak about everything that is happening in my life. He's allowed to speak about what is happening all over the country, but him speaking about his life and plans and all that stuff, that's where he goes wrong. And then number two, I feel like at some point, pride got into him. And yeah, pride got into him because I remember there was a time people were saying he called them lazy, he called them steward. And anytime he argued from a point of, I have my life figured out. I have money. What do you have? So it was so hard to even challenge him sometimes, because anytime you tell him anything, you'd be like, kwanza nakumbuka item alikuwa anasema during the process akisema, tuache kwenda kwa streets, we should stop going to the streets because tutachoma inchi, the country will burn down, and when the country burns down, some of us will not have anywhere to go for. But for him, he can easily fly out and go to another country. And you're like, oh, you're actually right. Yeah. Alitu humble vibaya sana. Yeah, so the next thing is, basically that was the second lesson I'm learning from him, that, you know, pride comes before a fall, because there was that and then the fall. And another thing, if you have been proud publicly, you will fall publicly. If you've been proud publicly, you will certainly fall publicly. People will see you fall and people will see you rise, and we'll all be here for it. And like I said, we listen and we judge. We listen and we judge. And sometimes we usually say we don't care, but sometimes we actually care, because utapata, your business might be our business for a whole entire month. I'm talking about you, I'm done talking about you, the next person's talking about you, the next person's talking about you for like a whole month. But again, I'm sending love and lots of hugs to you, because I know you got this and you'll be able to figure this out of it. Because I also saw the support system you have of Akina Jalango. I saw the photo they actually took at the court, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So you actually have people in power who you call friends, who you consider friends, and therefore you have enough support. But again, I'll tell people, if you've never done business before, you might not really understand where Cairo is also coming from. And the same thing is happening to Shiko. You know, when she started and she came out, people are really praising her. They're like, oh, Shiko is bringing very cheap, affordable stuff. And, you know, they're nice things. Tumekuwa tukigongwa kama ni duvet, nini. I remember I also did a video. And I was like, at this time, she should also bring us a president and cars and land and all that stuff. Actually, anytime somebody is doing something good, me, I'm always out there to support them and do a video about them and support them, because that's one way in which I believe I can support somebody else who is also doing something. Because you see, I did a video like that, got over 200,000 views. People who didn't know about Shiko, they knew Shiko from that video. So definitely that was me showing support to her. And again, when you see that, later on people started saying, oh, we have ordered things, they have never been delivered, and we have paid, sijui nini, and a lot has been said. Until right now, she's no longer trending. She's no longer one of those people who are known to be best sellers of cheap, affordable products. Because people, again, are calling her out for her cheap, affordable products. When ye mwenyewe akianzisha hizi videos, alisema mwenyewe na mdomo yake, hizi vitu kuna za hii bei, kuna za hii bei na kuna za hii bei. I remember kama viatu walikuwa nasema sijui kuna grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So you can get an Air Force for like 1,000 shillings na kuna Air Force za 2,500, kuna Air Force za 7,000 na kuna za 20,000. So for her, she has decided to bring the most affordable that people can be able to afford, which are going for 1,000. So for somebody to go and buy them and later on and start saying, oh, shikuwa anauza viatu zinakaa kama mkate. Yo, munatakanga aje wa Kenya jamani. So yeah, basically Kenyans are the worst when it comes to anything. They will support you today unanimously and tomorrow call you out unanimously. And sometimes it just takes one person to do a video and boom, they're all on your case. I can tell you something for sure. Like right now, people really use Super Metro buses a lot. But wait until one day somebody will just wake up one morning and talk about something about them and everybody will be like, yeah, they've been actually doing that. We are boycotting them. Doing nini. Kenyans, they can love you to the moon and back and still transform that into hate or dislike in an instant. And funny thing is, even though they do that, they will still watch you. They are hating you and they're still watching you. So, I don't know. Talking about that has just reminded me something that somebody said. Gloria Ntazola should first of all act Real Housewives of Real Housewives of Kawangware before she can be featured on Young Famous and Africa. And I was like, yo, you people. Anyway, so basically, like I said today, we were talking about life lessons and struggles. I asked people on Instagram what they think about this, or rather, what are some of the lessons they have learned so far. And I have a couple of responses. I would love to read them and we go through them together. So, just a second. Yeah. So I'm going to read them and then we discuss them, look around them. So Siba Sarabi says, self-pity is worn out now. Just do the work. Self-pity, like I said, the question was, what are any lessons so far in January 2025? I'm going to read your responses like I said. So Siba Sarabi says, self-pity is worn out now. Just do the work. It's true. Oh my God. And me, if there's people I avoid in this life, it's people who have self-pity. Watu nyona shinanga woye. No, me, I don't like that energy. I feel like that's negative energy in my life. Like, yo, pick up yourself. Work. Watu nashinanga kila saa woye. Me, I don't like that kind of energy. I will avoid you. And again, another thing is, I think we are low-key lazy. We want to have money, even myself. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about everyone and myself also included. Is deep down, we just want to make money and not go to work. Am I lying? Deep down, we want to make money and not go to work. So yeah, so self-pity is worn out now. Just do the work. Definitely. Go out there, push yourself, work. Do something. But again, you have to be very careful on what exactly you're doing, because you might do something that's not really going to make an impact in your life. You know, the other day I was telling my colleagues at work, right now at the age I'm in, I just turned 28 years the other day, about a week ago now, and I was telling my colleagues, kuna jobs saizi ile age nimefika I can't do, and it's not from a point of pride. I feel like I've outgrown them. Kasa ukiniambia niuze njugu surely at 28 years, uniambia nianze kuuza njugu, kidogo hiyo inaweza kuwa tricky. Ama uniambia nianze kuuza miwa, hiyo inaweza kuwa tricky. But if I was 21, 22, 23, I would actually certainly do that, because you know I'm still trying to figure out life. But right now is a point where I feel like I need to make serious money, like work that can really be impactful in my life that can really make a huge change in my life. Not just change, you know, like those slight changes. So yeah, definitely put self-pity aside. And with this, still on this self-pity, I would also say people who keep blaming their parents. Oh, you know, wazazi wangu kama wangenifanyia, wazazi wangu kama, because this is where that pity falls. And some of you actually do that. If my parents would have done this for me, if my parents, no, that's giving self-pity. And you need to understand and know that you're actually an adult and you need to take accountability of your life. You need to stand up on your own and stop the bullshit of, my parents, my parents, or my parents love my sister more than they love me. My parents love my brothers more than they love me. You need to put that aside. That falls under self-pity. It is worn out now. It's about time. You wake up and just do the work, and not just any work. Think about work that will transform your life. So let me read the second person. It's coming from Cedric. Cedric is saying, uncommunicated expectations. Ish, I love that. Uncommunicated expectations cause premeditated resentment. Yeah, so uncommunicated expectations cause premeditated resentment. Communication is very key. That is true, actually. Yeah, I feel like that touches on my life. Uncommunicated expectations, it's actually touching on my life. Like, you expect people to do things and you have not communicated. You have not said, I want you to do A, B, C, D, Z. I think that is something I need to work on. That's actually a very important life lesson to pick. Most of us expect people to do things that we have not told them that I want you to do A, B, C, D. Oh, yeah. Like I said, that has touched on me as well. Because sometimes I sit down, I'm like, you're an adult, you should have done A, B, C, D. When I should actually just communicate and tell them, you know what, this is how I like my coffee. You know what, this is how I like you to talk to me. You know what, this is what I want you to do for me. I just wake up with expectations of wanting people to do exactly that. And I feel like, yeah, I need to work on that. And I think one of the best ways in which I can be able to kill that is self-love, self-priority, mental health, and things like that. Because when you love yourself enough, you'll want the correct things to be done to you. And therefore, you'll be able to communicate. So I feel like that was a very important life skill to pick. Uncommunicated expectations cause premeditated resentment. Communication is very key. I'll read another response from Saniko Brand. Saniko Brand said, adaptability has been my greatest lesson this month. Please change, and that's okay. Plans change, and that's okay. So I'll read again to make sense. Adaptability has been my greatest lesson this month. Plans change, and that's, oh yeah, I get it. Adaptability has been my greatest lesson this month. Ndio nimeelewa sasa. Mara ya kwanza nilikuwa nasoma tu. Plans change, and that's okay. Those actually are two things. Adaptability. Adapting to situations. You had, yeah, oh my God, this is also touching on my life. Real life, yeah. You need to accept or adapt to changes that come with the day-to-day life. If yesterday you could afford bread and eggs and whatever, like a full English breakfast, and now all of a sudden life has taken a turn, you need to adapt, find a bearing to adapt to the changes that have come with that. You know, the problem is we love to live in self-denial. We love to tell ourselves that, you know what, this has happened, but I'm not accepting it. Accepting a situation sometimes becomes really so hard for us. Like, if you told me today to move to like a single room house, I would find that to be so hard, Karanja. But, you know, when that moment comes, I should accept that's the situation. But am I ready really to accept that situation? I don't think I am. And that's where the problem is. And that's where depression kicks in. That's where mental health problems kick in. And oh my God. But I would understand it's not one of, it's actually a journey. Adapting to situations is a journey of self-acceptance. If you cannot accept a situation, it becomes hard to adapt. So the first process is acceptance, and then you can be able to adapt. If you cannot accept a situation, it becomes difficult. And I actually have a story. You know, where we used to live a while back with my parents, kitambo hapo nyuma kabisa, before they moved where they live right now. You know, there was a lady who moved there because there are some mabati houses that were constructed there, single houses. And there was a very famous estate where we used to stay in Dagoretti. It's called Suna Estate, for those people who know Dagoretti really well. So this woman had, because this now was a woman, the husband died and she was not working, and it's the husband who was working, and then the husband died. And now they could not be able to afford rent anymore. So they were supposed to move from there. Now they moved to this place because they could not continue staying there. They could not afford it. This woman was not working. The person who was sustaining them died. So they had to leave. So they came to where we were staying. And I could see the struggles. And she could also talk about the struggles because she spoke to my mom a lot. I could see the struggles of, because the time tulikuwa na bafu nje, and you can imagine they have to shower outside, and they were showering in the house. Now they have to use a basin to go and shower outside. And nyumba ni ya mabati, you can imagine the cold, the noise. Na kama umeshaishi nyumba ya mabati unajua inaanga heshima, you know? Hadi mtu akikoa huku, the next house somebody knows someone is coughing, you know? You can't even, there's zero privacy. When I'm having a conversation with someone here, the next house somebody is all certainly listening to the conversation I'm actually having. So adapting for them adapting to this life was not easy. And they were forced by circumstances to be in this life. And sometimes you can be in that situation, but hauikubali bado, unakataa. And even though people say sometimes vitu zingine ukikubali, you become comfortable and all that, sometimes you just need to learn, like I've said, learn to accept and be like, I'm in this situation, this is the life I'm in, and therefore I need to accept that I'm here and see what I can do to make it better. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but yeah, that's it. So plans change, and that's okay. Yeah. Plans, people, they always change. Plans change, and that's okay. We had so many plans. Karanja knows we had so many plans. So many plans. We still do. We still have so many plans. The year is still fresh. We are not giving up. We are not about to even think about giving up. But yeah, we are trusting in God and trusting in the process. But again, I'm accepting. I love, towards the end of December, I was telling myself, I want to learn to accept things as they come. And I love that because it has given me so much peace. I hardly have stress for anything. I hardly have stress or too much thoughts about anything these days because I've learned to accept the things I can do and the things I cannot be able to do. And I think that's beautiful for me, for myself. I feel like that's beautiful for me. The fact that I've learned to accept whatever comes or whatever situation I'm in. So, yeah. Having said that, I'll still have my own personal lessons that I want to talk about. And how many minutes, Karanja? 1 minute. Oh my God. Okay, so... okay, let me just wrap it up. I wanted to say this to people out there. For people who pray especially. If you know you're praying for something and it doesn't come at that particular moment in time you really wanted it to come, just know one thing. God always has 3 answers. Yes, no, or wait. And sometimes when God says no, it's redirection. It's you have to go back to the drawing board and think harder on what exactly you want. And when he says wait, it's because this is not the right time. I've asked people before, you keep asking God to give you money and become rich. If he trusted you with 1 billion shillings today, do you think you're in that mental capacity to handle 1 billion shillings today? And to be honest, like right now, if I was given 1 billion shillings, I don't think I'm in that capacity to handle 1 billion shillings today. So I think sometimes timing, and life is a process. And sometimes we have to accept certain things have to happen in our life to prepare us for us to be ready to receive that 1 billion shillings. So waiting is also an answer. And sometimes God will say automatically yes, because he has already prepared you for that. That is one of the lessons I'm picking up this year. That sometimes I might be really wanting something so bad, but I need to put in my mind that God has only 3 answers. Yes, no, wait. And again, God will always give you a sign. God will always communicate and give you a sign. If you ask him for a sign, he's faithful enough to give you a sign. Well, if you've watched this video all the way up to this time, thank you so much. And you should make a point of subscribing and commenting down below. Let me think about what lessons you have learned so far in the year 2025. This is January. People are setting up goals. People are talking about their finances. People are basically coming up with plans. And what are your plans for this 2025? And what so far lessons you have already picked in 2025. Staki tufike June ndo tunaanza kusema ati I should have done. No, we are picking ourselves right from this minute going all the way forward. It has been your boy, the Melanin King. Be sure to follow all our socials. We have an Instagram account by the name Life Unfiltered Podcast. We have this YouTube. We have TikTok account. You should make a point to watch that out as well. And you should also check out my Instagram account. I go by the name The Melanin King on TikTok and on Instagram as well. Sometimes I put up polls where you have seen me reading responses from people is from Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, definitely I will be able to engage with you. If I pose a question, you'll be able to answer and I'll be able to respond to that on this video. So until next time, from this end of Life Unfiltered Podcast, I say goodbye. Toodles. You'll see Brandy in the next one.